All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, when Jimbo Fisher left Florida State to become the head football coach at Texas A&M, he came to College Station and received a hero's welcome, and that was for good reason. As in 8 years at Florida State, Jimbo was 83 and 23, which included helping Florida State win a national championship as well as three ACC titles. Now, when coming to Texas A&M, Jimbo was supposed to be the guy that would lead A&M to the top of the SEC and be able to compete with the likes of Alabama, Georgia, and LSU for conference supremacy. But so far, Jimbo is proving to be just another coach in the SEC. Now, in 4 years at A&M, Jimbo's overall record is 37 and 19, but he is just 22 and 16 within the SEC. And to put some context on that, you think back to Jimbo's 8 years at Florida State, he only lost pardon me, 16 conference games within those 8 years. No conference title games, no conference title game appearances, rather, and no championships for Jimbo since coming over to Texas A&M as he's tried to navigate through that tough SEC West, and it is tough. And but with that said, Jimbo has been able to consistently get one of the top recruiting classes in the nation each year. But at the end of the day, the results have not consistently shown up on Saturday where they matter the most. Now, this year, Texas A&M began the year ranked sixth in the nation in the AP poll, but they quickly proved that that was too much for them as in their second game, they lost at home to Appalachian State. Right now, you're talking about an A&M team that's only 3-5. They're 1-4 within the SEC, and they're tied with Auburn for last place in the SEC West. And Auburn earlier this week fired their head coach, Brian Harsin. Now, in regards to Jimbo, he was supposed to be the guy that made A&M a juggernaut on offense. But right now, you're looking at an Aggies team that is currently 94th in the nation in total offense. Now, I know suspensions and injuries have taken away from things for Texas A&M this year, but at the end of the day, the recruits overall are not living up to the billing, and that falls into the lap of Jimbo. Now, at the end of the day, again, A&M's schedule is not easy because the SEC West is indeed a gauntlet. But with that said, this is why Jimbo Fisher is being paid the money that he's been paid to rather, which is to coach up these kids and more importantly, win. In my opinion, I just feel that Jimbo is too comfortable right now at A&M. He got that uh, lovely contract to leave Florida State in the first place. And then last year, we saw Jimbo get a 10-year extension that if A&M were to fire him right now, would result in them having to pay him $86 million in regards to a buyout. So with that said, where's he going to go? And I mean, there's plenty of comfort there. And I know that some of the boosters that support this Texas A&M football program have very deep pockets, but I don't see any scenario where any of them are going to give $86 million to have a guy not coach, and then you still have to turn around and pay somebody else to coach. It just is not happening. What more can be done at Texas A&M? The bottom line is they have to win because you think about it, Texas A&M's facilities are second to none. They've given Jimbo Fisher everything possible in order to succeed at College Station. And at the end of the day, it just has not gotten done. He's had some successful years overall, 9-4 in his first year at A&M, 8-5 his second year when they were fourth in the SEC West, 9-1 in 2020, his best year, 8-4 last year, and he went 4-4 within the SEC. And this year, he's 3-5. And you look at it right now in A&M's last four games, they have their work cut out for them in order to get to 6-6. so that they can be bowl eligible. I think we can all pencil in that they'll beat UMass at home on the 19th of November. This game against Florida on Saturday is not going to be an easy game. I know that Texas A&M hosts Florida, but you figure Florida's a 4-4 team. Billy Napier, their first year head coach, is looking to get his footing. I'm not saying that Florida's going to come to College Station and win, but it's not going to be an easy game for Texas A&M either. You look at November 12th, next Saturday, when Texas A&M travels to take on Auburn, and again, Auburn just fired their head coach, so you have a lot of kids that are going to go out there. They're playing hard. They're going to be playing hard for the assistant coaches, and also they're going to try to prove themselves to the next coaching regime. And then finally, A&M finishes at home against LSU, and we've seen this LSU team under first-year head coach Brian Kelly get better and better as the weeks progress. And I think that is shown in their ranking in the initial college football playoff, where the Bayou Bengals are currently 10th. So I've talked about this before and I'll talk about it again. The SEC West, coaching wise, is full of rock stars. And Jimbo Fisher is right in that mix. But at the end of the day, you're judged by what you can and cannot do on Saturday. And you think about it, this 4-game losing streak that A&M is on, they lost by 18 to Mississippi State. They really had every opportunity to beat Alabama with a backup quarterback a couple weeks ago, didn't get it done, losing at South Carolina, and then coming back this past Saturday night and losing at home versus Ole Miss. So at the end of the day, things are not working out so far for Jimbo Fisher. Can he turn things around? Absolutely. Will he turn things around on A&M? Possibly. But at the end of the day, right now, I feel that A&M is not getting the bang for their buck, so to speak. And at the end of the day, rightfully so. I mean, there's been a lot of money that has been committed to Jimbo Fisher, but he's not living up to his end of the bargain. So let's just see if Texas A&M can turn this thing around and ascend to the top of the SEC West in order to contend with the likes of Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, and give their fan base as well as their boosters something to brag about, as this team could be in the mix for a potential SEC championship. Obviously, this program has some work ahead of them to get to that point. The expectations have been high for several years at College Station. And honestly, the expectations have been high at College Station ever since A&M made the move to leave the Big 12 in favor of the SEC. But nonetheless, it has not been there. It wasn't there with Kevin Sumlin. And so far, it's not been there with Jimbo Fisher. But with that said, Jimbo has the money committed to him. So now it's put up or shut up time as he looks to reverse the fortunes of the Aggies. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.